Hi there, this is Gina with Gina's Crafting Spot. I'm here with another video, and this one is entitled Made in the Shade. So there are two photos of my son. I think he was 2 in that picture when we were in Florida. And I just cut down the photos to the same size. I didn't get them printed like that. I print everything at 4x6 and then cut it down as I need to. So one photo is a little larger than the other because one was a landscape, one was a portrait, and I just, made the heights the same, if that makes sense. So there's a piece of pretty red glittery paper from that 12 by 12 DCWV Snapshots collection. Not collection, it's just a paper pad. And there's some cut aparts you could use in there, and that's pretty much what I used for my whole layout. So I just cut apart what I could and used it as embellishments, and yeah, I was very happy with the layout. So there I'm just using one of those notebook paper punches on the edge just to give it a little interest. And I think I'm going to use that white graph looking paper with all the different colors, but I didn't end up using it. I know I will be using it because I really liked it, but that would be good with like some mixed media on it, and this one I didn't do any. And it might be because I changed the paper, but that looks like a good mixed media piece of paper to me. For splatters and such. Maybe some stenciling. So yeah, so I'm trying to decide what to do. So I end up pulling out that, and there's the cover of that. I have gotten so many photos out of it, and it's so nice because there's so many little things to cut out. So I've really enjoyed that stack. And it's all glittery too, so that's a bonus for me. That doesn't come off, glitter that doesn't come off when you touch it. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim down that piece to the 12 by 12. And there are my photos. They're going to stay like that. I might just lower the photos down a little to get closer to the notebook edge. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm going to have a couple of clusters, and I just want to see how I want my layout to go. So that is just a little piece from that same, just a little cutout, and I did a little fishtail banner on it, on that pointing finger. And then that spectacular I had cut out as well, I believe, yep. So this is kind of where I'm getting started. So I'm going to use that yellow as a background, that pretty piece of red that I showed you. I was just going to put this in, but it didn't show, how I selected and started to put everything down. So I just decided to leave it in. There's just a couple minutes. So that made in the shade, I had cut out with my Cricut 2 of those made in the shade title word pieces right there, and I did one in black and one in turquoise, and I just offset them. So there is no what do you call it? No shadow per se, but I just made my own. So you could see it's the 2 colors. In person you could see it really well. So I just use some of that strong tape to adhere it down so that way it won't come up. With that background, with all the glitter and stuff, it's not very, and it's kind of dimensional, so it wouldn't stay just with regular ATG. So I decided to super stick it super stick it. And that made in the shade is from the Life is a Beach Cricut cartridge. And there I just cut a couple pieces of wonky cardstock black just to give it a little something different, not just a straight line. So I cut 2 pieces of black. One is going one way on the top, and then the other is going to go the opposite way. And yeah, I like the way it looks like that, not straight. So I'm going to add those, and then I'm going to add a little more shimmer like this layout needs any. but it's with some rhinestone. I don't know what it's called. It's like a rhinestone sheet, not sheet. I don't know what it's called. It has like 20 long lines of, rhinestones in a row. Ah, you'll see it in a minute. It's really pretty. I think that's what I went to go get. Because I thought that the black on the top and the bottom needed something shimmery. Oh, I guess I didn't do that. Sorry. So those are all pieces, like I said, that I cut out from, some of those pages from the 12 by 12 pack. And there are some borders as well, but I didn't end up using any. But those banners, I cut out 3 of those. And they are going to get layered up there. And I am using, I think, just close to my heart glue in a fine line bottom. Hoping that's going to stick them down well. And yeah, don't really care much for the liquid glue because I always get messy and I don't know, maybe it worked well. We'll see. Yeah, it hasn't come up yet. I have the layout in front of me. So they're all good. So that little card also cut apart. Smile for the camera. Super cute. And I'm just reinforcing that because you see with the ATG it doesn't, Zoe, it doesn't stick well. I'm just putting the cap on my bottle. And we are almost done. This is a super duper simple layout. But I take time on something. It's probably gluing down. So there's that another couple pieces that I cut out. And there's that pretty red, I don't know what it is, just a shape, I guess. But see, there was a whole page. See to the left there? There's some tags and stuff there. There was a whole page of all of just those kinds of things. So I went ahead and, one day just watching TV, cut a bunch out. And I still have more to go. So the ones I wanted to use, I'm just cutting out on camera right there. Just adding another piece to that little cluster right there. Yes. That's where it is, like that mesh piece. Sorry, I was talking to my husband. He's going to get us breakfast. It's a mesh piece. So I'm just cutting out a couple of strips from it. I have had that stuff for so long. I got it at an expo, a bunch of it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to use it all the time. And yeah, I forget about it in my drawers. I wish I could have everything out in plain sight. Then I wouldn't forget anything, right? So I don't know what happened with the lighting there. I like it better like that. I don't know what I did, but a little different. So the sides weren't quite straight, so I'm just trimming it off. And then the piece of paper wasn't 12 inches that I used for the black. I don't know why. I must have used a piece. Anyway, no worries. I just trimmed it off so it all looks even. And then I'm going to add, I'm trying to use the glossy accents in another fine line bottle that's glossy accents. Just putting a thin line across and then adding the bling. And I don't know. I'm very impatient. I don't like to wait for things to dry, especially when I know I'm on video and I don't want to make you guys wait, and I'm not going to be editing out like a little bitty piece because I haven't quite mastered that yet. So anyway, there I'm putting it on with glossy accents. I like to use just the ATG and fold it over a little bit so it doesn't stay sticky, and that works really well too for me. But the way this was, that, like I said, that background that had dimension, and it's kind of embossed and glittery at the same time, so yeah, not a good combo for um, making things stick to it. So yeah, I think I'm almost done with this layout. It's very simple, but I really, really like the way it came out. So that's spectacular. I'm going to put right there. I'm going to pop it up. It does look like a banner. Not very much else. That very cool is going to stay up there in the right corner. All I'm going to do is bring out some of my regular rhinestones and bling. Sorry for half my body getting in there. So I decided to just try to outline those banners because they weren't standing out very much. So that did the trick. In person it looks pretty good. So yeah, so that is almost it. Come on, Gina, get out your rhinestones. I like to hoard my enamel dots. I don't know why, just because I don't have a lot. And that's my rhinestone collection, so the bling, I have a little more bling than, more years of collecting. Back when I was doing it, they didn't really have the enamel dots when I started. So just adding a few sporadically. Gonna put one up by the banners in a minute. One to make that a sentence, I guess. Yeah, and that's pretty much gonna do it. Very simple, but I don't know, I really, really like it. I think it's the bright colors that I love, the bright colors. And my little cutie pie helps being in the picture. Anytime it's with my kids, it's just, I love them all. So anyway, just going around the edges with some Distress ink. Because it's all the white core showing. Well, I don't know if that was Distress ink. It was a black ink. So yeah, so that'll do it, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye!